whatever your particular intake that night, it would affect you. And, imagine going into this, it was, whether it's, some small pills or State Bar in Black, it's going to get you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another installment of the Audiophiles. Andy and John here. John, there you go, got them both up. You're up to bat, sir. What have you got in store for me, and what have you got in store for the audience today?
Okay, got a track from a band called the Wendys. You may be familiar with their houses.
No, I was actually taking to the ginger pigtail girl that slings burgers over here.
you've got a burger thing there. Yeah, we've got houses over here. Wendy houses. Peter Pan. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to mention it. So you're not familiar with a band called the Wendys?
No.
So great. There's a track of theirs I'd like you to listen to. It's called "The Sun Is Gonna Shine for Me Soon," and this is a live version.
Oh, cool. All right, well, I will go give these Wendys a listen, and I'll try not to get any catch-up anywhere, and I will come back and let you know what I think. That click track kind of gave away the tempo that was coming in. It just that doesn't take anything away from the song at all. It's awesome. I love the way that all kind of culminated. And who's to say there's not going to be more to come in? But like just from where it started, that sort of primordial state of just that faint click track and some like open picking, and then for them to kind of just piece things together and have things ushered in. Guitar, this other guitar sounds so good. Oh my goodness, I love that sound. And then the drums came in like the sort of click track kind of would suggest, and when I heard that, it was just lovely to see everything kind of come to fruition. And I'm really interested to see where this goes. I could tell already just by the tones of the guitars that they are going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy a lot. Or at least that's where my hopes are set right now. Let's see where we go.
The song that runs in my head, just like a melody fade. The song that runs in my head. I see and I feel. I see all I can feel that you're almost always on your own.
These guitars are they're like swirling. It's like being in this like whirlpool of guitar sound. And what's adding to that actually is also the drums, because the drums keep doing these perfect like snare rolls right at the right time, and it adds to this like tumbling and tossing around in the sound. And it's good, man. It's just good. Sounds lovely, man. I love these guitars. The bass is coming in with that doo, doo, right when you need it. Drums again, keeping everything moving. Like it gives it this like energy to the movement, the pacing. It's all really, really outstanding. It's got this great live quality to it. I mean, I know it's emblazoned here in the thumbnail, and John will mention it and all that stuff, but this when live music is performed this well and produced thereafter this well, after the performance kind of like mixed perfectly, it's maybe like music at its most listenable for me, or like I enjoy listening to it the most at that point. Particularly the drum track. Not to go on and on, which at this point I probably already have, and we've got an 8-minute and 20-second song here. But yeah, I'm really, really loving this. Very moody, very atmospheric, while also not being pretentious in any way. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this.
You said your soul in a bag, so when you need it, you have. You stuck your soul in a bag.
That was a really, really good song. I think I said in the beginning that I had a strong inclination that I was gonna be a fan of the guitars in this tune, and I was right. This is a just awesome, awesome shit. It was so good. I loved all of it, but that whole portion, like there's what was it, like 3 minutes, where they just put on a masterclass. That was great. That was really, really good stuff. Man, I want to hear more stuff like this as soon as possible. I want to listen to this song again as soon as possible. But before I do that, I'm going to have to discuss it with John, which I'm also eager to do. So let's get over to him.
So, what do you think of the Wendys?
A lot. So I better just get into my notes here. So, interesting start to this one. There's this like string plucking guitar riff that allows for like the last note to resonate a little bit. This isn't exactly like a quick riff. This is like kind of like open and it's got room to breathe, especially that last note, as I alluded to. But behind that, you can hear this, and I don't know if it's just because it's a live performance or this is part of like the recorded track, but you can hear the click track that's going on, counting like the beats per minute. You know what I mean? What's going on back there? So that, to me, despite this open sounding guitar riff, there is this the sound of that click track kind of like gives away that this tempo is going to be faster than maybe the guitar would suggest. And I like that. I sort of took a mental note of that. So there's this an odd bit of foreshadowing and depth to the sound there, where the guitar shifts into this new melody and the drums come in quickly shuffling, the snare with paradiddles and splashes of the cymbals as the song is kind of building. The bass is also doing some really like kind of bouncy, great counter note stuff where, you know, he's not just hanging on doing 16th notes or 8th notes on one. He's moving around and you're bouncing with those notes that are being struck on the bass. And it's really, really great. It fits perfectly with the rhythm of the drummer's snare work as well. So they are fitting together quite snugly, hand in glove, and the rhythm section is sounding awesome. And it's at this point, and very early in the song, though, that I realized that this song is likely going to have some really interesting guitar work. It's just the tone of the guitar and the way they've built it to this point, kind of has this unsettling, omnipresent sound that hangs over like this faultless rhythm section. So I'm thinking, okay, we have this strong as steel, this adamantium rhythm section. So the guitar is now like unencumbered to do whatever the fuck it wants over top of it. And that's like, I even stopped and said, I feel like this is going to be a guitar song because of this. So, and you know, spoiler alert, does it ever? It's at this point, so yeah, anyway, forgive me. I think the 2-minute mark, after the singer delivers the line, "I can feel that you're almost always on your own," or something like that. The bass cuts out, leaving the guitars, and then quickly shuffling drums to progress for about 7 to 10 seconds before returning to the song, just as the guitar shifts and the tempo ramps up slightly. And this becomes sort of this like refrain that's added to the song from time to time, because it's not the last time that this appears. It's short-lived, and there's like some jangly guitar chords, and the singer's echoing the title of the song, this refrain. This song is the king of doing these bits where instruments or all instruments or some instruments cut out for a brief moment before reappearing. This motif, which occurs more than once, utilizes that mechanism, but other parts of the song utilize that mechanism as well. It's like this signaling that the song is about to shift into another part, like this segue kind of line of demarcation. Like if the bass drops out or if the guitar drops out, that's this indicator that we're moving into this other movement of the song. And I quickly caught on to that because it happened a lot. The tune slightly downshifts back into the familiar guitar line from earlier in the track, and there's this other bits that cut out aside from that click track, and then the bass teases its reemergence, and we're back into the tune proper. So again, this cutting out bits and pieces, reintroduction. And before too long, the bass cuts out again very briefly, and the music shifts back into the refrain where the title of the song is repeated by the singer. Then at the 4:37 mark, we have yet again this portion where the music briefly stops before shifting into a new portion with quickly building drums in the back, and you can really feel like he's about to build into something at this point in the song when the way the drums are kind of escalating. And the guitar and bass are noodling, and they're playing off of each other. The drums climb back into a steady beat after sort of like culminating. And it allows for this guitar to do some really fun experimenting over this like trancey, almost trancey like bass line that's happening below it. And the music is creating this like swirling soundscape where you're just like, I think I likened it to being like stuffed in a dryer with music and being turned on tumble dry, and you're just bouncing around in there and the music's all around you. It's just awesome and it's enveloping you. And the fervor ramps up, and this high-pitched guitar work and escalating drums continue to grow and grow until like it's four massive walls closing in on each side of you. And it's just about to touch skin. And then the song hits the last note and it resonates. So it's like these walls are just about to start pressing in on you. And when they do, you get sweet release. And you just hear this last resonant note and the introduction of audience applause. And it's an outstanding live rendition of a tune, and dare I say, even better mixing and editing work done on it as well. It's really, really good, like production of a live performance. And I said in my reaction that that's perhaps the best way to listen to music when you really think about it. Like if you can bring in all the pros of both a live performance and a song that has had some production work done to it to round off edges and clean up bits and create crispness and cleanness, this does that, and it is just an excellent vehicle or form of listening to a song, in my estimation anyway. You get all that the organic nature that you love in a live performance with the polished aspect, but not too polished aspect of production work. And I guess I'm going to slightly let the cat out of the bag here when I say that John and I have some plans in the works for some stuff to let out during the holiday season, where we're going to go over songs that we really liked, that we've offered up one another, or that have come from the viewers. And we wanted to make the list as long as possible, but we narrowed it down to 3 from each of these categories. And if this song had been given to me, and there's a couple other that fit this bill too, and I'll expand on those during those episodes. But if this song had been given to me 3 or 4 months ago, this thing would be in my list of 3. And unfortunately, it's going to be on my outside looking in list of 3, like just didn't make the cut. But I guarantee you that if I had more time to let this song burrow into me more than it clearly already has, this would be right up there with some of the faves that you've given me. And shit, a year from now, it could be. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think another reason why it's so high up on the list is because of that sort of the beautiful dynamic of it being live and also produced a bit and cleaned up a bit, that really sold it and put it over the top for me. But yeah, some awesome musicianship, great tones and guitars, great way they built and played with sound dynamics and the soundscape as a whole. Basically from that 4:37 marker until the end of the song was a real wild ride. Not to say that anything that came before it wasn't really fucking fun too. It's just like, that's the moment when I said, all right, I'm going to double buckle this son of a bitch because I'm in for it. And I was, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'd echo those sentiments. You know, nothing wrong with the first half, but the second half is special.
Yeah.
Now, what you may not realise is that what you have been listening to is Manchester. That sort of same sort of, when you, because you're not, I wouldn't expect you to sort of like ping, oh, this is from that scene, but you know, Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, all that sort of stuff. This is a development on from that. So yeah, and that's kind of the dynamics of the very best of that music. Get this sort of swirling, trancey, dancey, guitar-based indie, you know, groove.
Yeah. How many guitars were on this track, John?
2.
Thank you. Okay. I knew I was hearing multiple guitars on this, but I didn't know the band well enough to know if they had 2 guitarists or one guitarist who laid 2 tracks down. And then knowing that it was live, I'm like, well, do they have a featured musician coming in and playing some like guitar?
Somebody else left them on it because the band is listed as a 4-piece, but there's definitely 2 guitars in there. I mean, a blind man could hear that.
Yeah. A blind man could hear that. Yes, he could actually. Yeah. Okay, that checks out then, because there's too much depth and shit happening guitar wise for there not to be multiple tracks.
So the Wendys, they're a Scottish indie band from Edinburgh, and they went from 1987 to 1999, and then sort of regrouped 2017 till present. So they're described as indie pop, baggy, and part of the Manchester scene. Personnel: Jonathan Renton, vocals; Ian White, guitar; Arthur Renton, bass, I presume they are related; and Johnny MacArthur, drums. So this track is from, or this particular one is from the I Instruct EP, that's that there, 4-track EP, and the A-side is studio and the B-side is 2 live ones, which have clearly then been, as you say, just polished up enough. It's still got that live spirit, but it's, you know, the atmosphere and the beer helps you block out the fact that normally the sound's god awful, you know, but you know, got that luxury at home. So I'm glad they did a little bit to it. So also this track was released as a single and it was featured on their debut album. So after the group had opened up at a gig for the Happy Mondays, Sean Ryder's father suggested that they send a demo tape in, which they did, and they were signed to Factory Records, which, you know, Mondays were on at the time, and you know about Factory. I was doing Tony Wilson and Joy Division, New Order, etc., Hacienda and all that crap. So they kind of felt that they were not fitting in or at odds with all the sort of contemporary music scene, so that it was a welcome move down to them to Manchester, and they kind of, the Wendys, felt they had found common or kindred spirits amongst all the sort of other groups in that area, particularly the Factory Records like New Order and Happy Mondays, who they clearly shared a relationship for many years. Very, very much later, they played supporting Black Grape, you know, Sean Ryder's sort of second outing. Yeah, this track also featured on a debut album called Gobbledygook, 1991. Now, they enjoyed critical acclaim from that album, and it was produced by Ian Brody, who did loads of other studies in the Lightning Seas, who did Echo and the Burning Man, loads of things. And they were seen as the next big thing, following on from the Stone Roses and the Happy Mondays. But they're pretty much overlooked by the public. One of the major reasons was the timing. Just as their album came out, Factory Records collapsed and was, you know, went belly up. And so they didn't have any support. And also, the other bit of timing was grunge suddenly came in, swept the airwaves, and helped kill off any remnants of Manchester. And bands like the Wendys really were, you know, they were passe, or, you know, almost overnight. Jingle Jangle Pop became Give Me the Distortion. So following quite a long hiatus from 1991, they brought out their second album, 6-foot wingspan, all one word, in 1999, and then petered out to nothing. They reformed in 2017, and they continue to play live, but they've not done any sort of new output. So I shall get into the lyrics of this. This repeated quite a bit. It's quite nice. So this song goes around in my head, just like I've never been fed. This song goes around in my head. I see and I feel. I see and I can feel that you're almost always all on your own. You never say what you mean if you see what I mean. You always mess when I clean. I see and I feel, I see and I can feel that you're almost always on your own. The sun's gonna shine for me soon. The sun's gonna shine for me soon. You stuck your soul in a bag so that when you need it, you have. You stuck your soul in a bag. I see and I feel, I see and I can feel that you're almost always on your own. Gonna shine for me soon. Gonna shine for me soon. Repeat a few more times. And the last line is, going right through your moon. It's slightly, very, very, very slightly changed the lyrics from the album version. The album versions, I think, I've seen a 4-minute or 6-minute version. This is obviously elongated. I chose this one because it's really the best version, and the guitars go batshit, for a much longer period. And it does have that sweet spot that you get in some sort of indie dance records where you get almost this trancey type quality as you described, the walls closing in. And they're just, as you say, just slightly always shifting the bits in it. So it keeps changing as it's moving, as it's spiraling, as it's going. And, whatever your particular intake that night, it would affect you. And, imagine going into this, it would, whether it's, some small pills or Snake Bite in Black, it's going to get you. And this is an awesome indie track. And I think hopefully people will remember, some of the people of that time, of that ilk, will remember the Wendys. They're a decent band. They never hit it big or anything, but this is my favourite of their output. And they always, just decent stuff, but this I think is quite special.
Yeah.
So that's why.
And it's kind of a little frustrating when you hear, like, for me, in like looking at it through my lens, when you hear a band and then you hear this is the first time you listen to them, is this song, and then you're like, yeah, this is as good as it's gonna get, this is the best stuff, because all you want is for there to be like 2 more albums worth of songs like on par with this.
I mean, that's my opinion. You might like other stuff.
Fair. No. I get it. But I still I know you well enough, and I think you know me well enough, that I think we would probably end up at the same spot where this is clearly the best song. I mean, I want to listen to more of these guys, but that's just enough to make me go, oh shit.
I would pick that third best, would I?
Yeah, of course. That's a valid point. It's a valid point. I should have known.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a huge amount of stuff to go at. Haven't got Gobbledygook on vinyl, actually. That's another one I should get, because it's a decent album. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I'll put my thinking cap on and see if I can come up with another track which I think you'll enjoy. I'm sure.
Yeah, don't force it, but if it's there, I'd love to check it out.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I should wrap things up. Thanks, Andy, for listening to this.
Thank you.
And get in your Manchester Mad for It head on. Excellent. Good to see.
I'm going to get my tattooed bee somewhere on me. Turn into a true Mancunian.
See you down Spikes Island with your Joe Blogs. Those fucking trousers were terrible. Sorry. I love that scene, but those trousers were awful. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Guess what? You can let us know if you did by hitting that like button. Also, drop some comments. Tell us what you think of the Wendys. Are you familiar with them, their output? What's your favourite track? Yeah, drop us some line. We'd love to hear from you. We love interacting with you guys and getting all your little golden nuggets of information and insight and opinion and anything else that comes out through your mind. We love it all. If you haven't subscribed, please do. But we do appreciate everybody's support. So if you do want to subscribe, you're welcome aboard. We'd love to have you. That being said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see all of you on the next episode of the Audiophiles.
See you guys.